this game sucks ass.
What's going on, man?
Fox、コーネリアのセバー将軍からのメッセージです。
急いでくれ。スターフォックスの将軍アンドルフが宣戦布告してきた。奴らはこの惑星コーネリアを支配し、ライラット系全てを我が物にしようとしている。我が軍だけではどうにもならん。急いでくれ、スターフォックス。
I'm Ben from Triple Jump.
This is the way.
Wow, so cool.
Yo, Gabba Gabba!
Now you're playing with power, superpower.
The new Nintendo 64. So what's the big deal, and why is Toys R Us already sold out?
Hello gamers, and welcome to the Gaming Lifestyle Lounge. I'm your host, America's #1 online video game personality, Ben, the Parvinator Parvin, here at your service. What's up, guys? Welcome. Listen, we've got a hell of a show. A hell of a show. Yeah, let's go with that. We got a hell of a show lined up for you. More Star Fox 64. This time, all those medals, we already collected them. All right, every medal you can get in this game, it's been pinned to our chests, our collective chest. And you know, now we're just ready to have a little fun with this, do a little score attack. I've been looking forward to this part. The last goal was to get all the medals in expert mode. That is done. And now, you know, we're just shooting for high score. I have not had a high score in this game in a long time. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Thursday. Good to see you. Yeah, I've been looking forward to getting back here in the captain's chair here, back in the cockpit to work through this game with you guys. I think we can get a couple runs in tonight. Sorry for the late start. We went to see a concert on Tuesday night. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I got a stream in, but then we left and you know, drove to a concert, had a good time. But yeah, I there's been some errands I've been needing to get done, and I got it all done today, but it would just, everything took longer than I expected. But we have groceries, the cat has their medicine, and let's see. Oh, the people have their medicine as well. We're all good to go. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well.
Well, what happened was that second game we got our ass kicked. In the second half, we just got our ass totally kicked.
I want to get in here and see. I ended it right before it ended. Hey, look at this new start screen here. Once you get all the medals, they rearrange the placement of the characters here. Fox takes the lead. He comes out and right in front of the camera here. Prior to this, they were all lined up across from each other back there under Star Fox, but, or, you know, under the word Star Fox, kind of lined up at the angle, kind of like what they're at now, but even just totally like a, I think pretty straight line. Anyway, you know, this has me thinking, what are some other games that do something like that? Like they change the title screen based on some level of completion? You know, one that came to mind was Mario Kart 64. You know, you get a different screen when you do, I think, do you have to do all the mirror mode stuff? I think maybe you beat the mirror mode all the way through, and then you get this kind of sunset looking shot. I think it might be on that Calamari Desert level. I can't quite remember, but it you know, it's a different look, and if you're used to the regular, you kind of notice it right away. All right, let's take a look at our scores. Let's see. Training is the second one. Versus. Man, I'd love to do some verses. Oh, ranking is this one. So these are the numbers to beat. I'm actually going to write down our top and bottom scores here. So I guess I could just put it in a note. But yeah, we're shooting for 1548. That would, if we got 1547, that would be a PB, at least as far as I know. Sadly, I don't have my childhood copy of this game anymore. Oh, man. I'm just kind of dried out. My left eye has been bugging me all day. It just keeps wanting to water. This game just makes me tear up a little bit. So 1548 is our top score. Maybe I should get some kind of a... This will have to wait until next time, but maybe I should look for some little way to organize this, like what speedrunners have. All right, 1524 is our 10th place. Okay, cool. As you can see, the leaderboard is a little tight here. I've been kind of stalled out at this number. There's a new technique I want to try to use a little bit more, but it definitely takes a little getting used to, and that's the charged unlocked shot, the CUS as it's known as. I did a little bit of reading, and we have a resource here we can look at.
Now this is pod racing.
Oh hey Anakin, what's up? That's not the... I need to change the color on that one. It's when I try to go to the browser that they look alike. I'm always letting Anakin get his say in. This isn't pod racing, kid. Sorry. But yeah, so was this the one I was looking at? Yeah, this was a guide from a while back on Reddit, but I think a lot of the info is still, you know, quite useful. Yeah, talking about the CUS. Charged unlock shot. It's a bit awkward because you have to hold Z and R and shoot before it locks on, and it will shoot like a little you know, one of those charged shots. And you really want to aim. The gist of it is that you want to aim for splash damage and not like locking on to an actual enemy, but for instance, hitting the ground or a building or the water in front of them, and then catching them via the splash damage, and that you get a lot more points for that. There's also a lot of stuff that you wouldn't think would yield a point that gets you that does via that technique. So It's going to be a big learning curve, but I'm going to try to implement a little bit of that. I may play a little bit worse, you know, in the interim, but all right, let's get into this thing.
It's the Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad.
How you guys doing? Happy Thursday. Hot day today. I'm sweating it out a little bit. I feel like I never totally cooled down after running around, you know, doing those errands. Yeah, I'm currently 93 today. Looks like we got 1 more degree to go before we hit the high. Awesome. It might be, I don't know, maybe we're at there now. Okay, well, you know, we've watched through this a couple times now, and I'd like to spend more time on all the cutscenes and stuff, but I do need to try to get a couple, you know, I want to try to get a couple runs in today, so here we go. Hope you guys are doing well. Good to see you. If you're over on YouTube and you get a chance, could you please hit the like button? Help this stream get a little boosted. Thank you for that. Press like to boost, as Peppy might say. Don't want to put words in his mouth, but... Yeah. I think it was like I got some soap in my eye during my shower, and it just feels like it's been irritated ever since, even though I've tried to, you know, rinse it out. Used eye drops a few times. Hoping for some increase in the score.
We all can grow and we all can learn.
You're supposed to be able to hit that water, like kind of right in front of them, I think. I'm gonna try something real quick here. There's also like some buildings that you could just like apparently rack up extra hits on. I'm gonna wait until they come back around. Oops. Okay. Ah! Ooh. Man. Ah! Whoops. Missed my weapons upgrade. I did get an extra hit there with that that boss, the one that's on treads, like this guy on the left here. Yeah, you're supposed to be able to hit that building, I read. See what we can do. I keep, sometimes I'm gonna charge no matter. I'm just trying to work that in a little bit because I never really did it in the past. Yeah, okay. Oops. So, wow, I was reading that there's a couple of places, like arches and stuff, that you can fly through. I should get that weapons upgrade. But bombs are good too. Might have another chance. Oh, shoot! Hey, Balpod. Do a Kaiser roll! Benefiting from being back on the regular difficulty right now with the the terrible flying I've done so far, contrary to Falco complimenting me on it just now. I'm gonna try to mix that strategy in some, but yeah, it's hard to just totally rewire my brain. A little waste of a bomb there, but we've got a bunch now, I guess. Get these guys! Hey, K-Vado. About... 80 minutos, más o menos. No, 90. It kind of depends, because some, you know, if you have to retry any courses, it can take longer, you know, but yeah, usually between, for me at least, I usually get it done, you know, between like 60 and 90 minutes. Well, actually not 60, but yeah, it always takes a little more than an hour, but yeah, something like 70 to 90. It's quick. You know, the replay value comes in the different paths that you can take through the game. Because each run is only going to take you through a certain number of courses. So, you know, it's a short game, but I think there's a good amount of replay value since, you know, if you want to hit all the levels, you have to do different runs. You know, you have to do multiple runs. Pretty short game, but, you know, it's fast. It feels kind of like an arcade game in that way, you know. Very score-driven. Okay, so I looked up, like, best routes, and it seems, from what I read, it seems like the most recommended route up until a handful of years ago was Corneria, Medio, Katina, Sector X, Macbeth, and then, you know, over to finishing on this, on the hard path from that point forward. But we're gonna do the one, it's funny because the one that I usually do, I read, I guess that's the one most people favor now, is what we're gonna do here today, going Sector Y. Pretty much hard path all the way, except we skip Sector Z and go to Macbeth instead. I think we'll do this game again tomorrow, and then after that we will we'll see. I started setting up for some Ocarina of Time. We might play that soon. I don't know if I want to do it just yet, but I did start doing a little setup for it, and that's a fun game. I don't ever need an excuse to play Ocarina again, but as long as a second job. I'm gonna need to put in a full shift. This is some pulling some doubles. Get this guy. Man, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm getting a little crazy at the beginning there. Get these guys, come on. You better get him. Oh, Jesus. Help me, Lord. That's a bad start. Oh, early with that bomb. Well, you can backseat all you want to, Palpuck, but I'll I'll be mostly on autopilot for that one. Oops. Ah, get these guys, man. Come on. This is kind of a rough start. Backseating will be, you know, fine. I don't mind. All that being said, yeah. I know the game pretty well. I don't, you know, on stream, I've done 100% on it a couple of times. Or, well, you know what? I shouldn't necessarily, I don't know if... Sometimes I'm not doing 100% as much as I'm... Oh, I missed some of those. To me, getting all the heart pieces... That usually fills my heart with contempt. Or not contempt, with a contentedness. Whoops. Get these guys. Oh, come on, man. I'm really not doing any of those special unlocked charge shots. Yeah, if they go for the, you know, as much, oh my god. I'm trying some different stuff and it's, yeah, it's not working for me. Also kind of wasted all my bombs. Wasted some more there. At least I get a couple here. That's... We're gonna get a medal. But, yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement. Yeah, I'm curious. I know I usually say... I usually find myself saying ocarina. Not everybody's cup of tea. Should have given him some more space. Did I just use a bomb just now accidentally? Dang. Oak. Ocarina. Based on the other vowel sounds, I, you know... Got a feeling it's O. How have I not lost my wings yet? Come on, get this guy. Oaks Arena. Step inside Oaks Arena. Come on. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, you know, I like I said, yeah, with the other vowel sounds and figured that it was, you know, you're using a, you know, A, E, I, O, U. But yeah, you know, not everything is, not every loan word is pronounced as it came to us, or as it, you know, as it was loaned to us originally, so. You know, maybe there's no wrong way to play an ocarina. Ocarina? Hey Nick, what's up? Yeah. Skulltula. Well, see, that one, yeah, exactly. Well, well, what do you do with that one? You could even go for a Spanish school tuya, you know. I usually say Skulltula. That's one thing I try to do too on the playthroughs is get, you know, all 100 Skulltulas. It feels like that game, you know, some of the, of course, a lot of that is we never had a voice acting on it before, but I'd be curious to hear what some of those... I remember hearing Ocarina of Time sometimes even back then, but I don't, you know, well, both of them really. Skulltula, oh yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I've always said Skulltula with that one. I remember watching this video that it was a VHS that was sent to Nintendo Power subscribers, and I think it was I think it maybe was after Ocarina of Time, possibly. But it gave a tip on how to get the, and I've mentioned this on stream before, but my cousin and I always laughed because he would say, here's how to get the Bigoron sword. And it was just so, now I'm not saying it's Big Goron sword. I think I say Bigoron just because of the way you get that double G there and, you know, it's all crammed together as one word. But I think hearing the Bigoron sword just to... I always thought that was funny. Well, I'd be curious about that because is their name spelled that way? E-I-K? Now I'm questioning myself. Bump, 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 bump. I guess that makes sense. Whoop! What's happening with my windows here? Yeah, shake. Khalid shake. Go, go, go. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Wasn't that like the leader of ISIS or something? I mean, there's been plenty of other sheikhs before, but including a Master Sheikh. Where am I? Yeah, I say chic. I've always said chic for that one. Also, hey, maybe they're even going for like a little French, you know, a little play on the French of chic, you know, C-H-I-C. That only just now came to mind. I like that. Oh, get these guys. Get the columns. The ones that are already broken. Slow down. Get the... I'm gonna be yelling at myself in the game. It was right there the whole time. They told us Sheik was a girl. That's like the whole story with, you know, Darth Vader and the Dutch fans being like, "Oh yeah, of course he's his father." Like Vader is father in in Dutch. I remember hearing that. I think that was hilarious. Their fans were like, "Yeah, that's his dad. Like that's his." Pretty much from the beginning. Come on, get these guys. Come on. Come on. Alright, kill these guys so you can get to these. There you go. Come on. Ah! That's gonna hurt. Come on. Really? Get him! Oh! Doesn't get much closer than that one. Okay, come on. I'm really going to try to utilize the brake a little more often, too. I'm pretty bad about that. Nope. Come on. Yeah. Kind of a rough go of it. Some of them I'm interested in the, I am interested in the Japanese enunciation, although when they katakana everything up, it just, you don't always really get what they were actually intending. It's just their best way of putting it in Japanese. So I don't always think that that is like the supreme. It pains me to say this as a fan of the Japanese versions, Oh, God. Okay, well, yeah, we will meddle, but barely. Man. I don't ever do that well on this level, but I'd like to be a little closer. Yeah. I get you. That makes sense, Papa. No, stay up here. Get extra points for the ventricles. I'm curious to see what they do with the voice acting. I really don't agree with the premise that pretty much every modern game should have it right now. I don't think it's necessary, and the problem with it for me is that if it's not good, hey Dustin, if it's not good to great, then it feels like why have it, and obviously they, not everybody thinks the same, but it always gets under my skin when I see people say like this or that game, for you see it with Pokemon and stuff. With I guess very little of that is even of the recent games. I think there's very little voiceover still. Oh, come on, get in there. Missed that round. With a lot of them having this sort of shit. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Looking at this Eureka 7. Eureka. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Right. That makes sense. It's interesting because often, obviously, they're starting with a loan word, a non-Japanese word. And yeah, it does, like I said, for me, it raises that question of what were they intending versus what was the best way for them to put it in their script, and that's why I don't always defer to like, oh, what would the katakana say? How are you, D-Dubs? What's up, man? Yeah. A lot of us definitely, you're reading it and you think Titus. Yeah, Titus. There's interesting questions about this kind of thing. Like I think about with Dragon Quest, there's when it basically, so you know, when it went to Dragon Quest 8, by the time you got to DQ8, and that was the first one out here in the West that dropped the Dragon Warrior title. Now they could, you know, the copyright had expired for Dragon Warrior, so they could call it Dragon Quest, and they could release it globally, you know. And they apparently, it was at that time that the series also went through a lot of changes with spell names and, well, just some of the things that, you know, in a series like that really a big part of its, I guess a big, you know, aspect of that series is that it never made huge drastic changes from title to title. It was a very gradual, you know, oops. Yeah, get the cursor back. Very gradual changes made over time. And yeah, they changed a lot of the spell names, and they became kind of sillier in a lot of ways, you know. I'm trying to think of some of the like original spells, but you know, you went from stuff that tended to be more like I'm trying to think of a couple that I could use, but now I'm out of my depth on this. But you got a lot of stuff like oomph and a lot of onomatopoeia for them, and some of those were apparently kind of in the spirit of what they were doing in the Japanese version, but not all of them were. And there's some fans that really don't like some of the changes made. Oh, come on. Oh. Oh, man. Ooh, this is kind of a bad start. Calm yourself down. You're gonna need some bombs along the way. Another thing that they started doing around that time is, I've played Dragon Quest 11, and there's a lot of this. There's a lot of accents from our world used in places that were pretty clearly supposed to be kind of inspired by those real-world countries and accents. You know, it's not often that difficult to tell, like, oh yeah, this is a pretty clear stand-in for like Portugal or... Sorry, Slip. So yeah, they would write a lot of the dialogue in modern Dragon Quest as, you know, using these, you know, in the English version, I should say, you know, using these dialects from around the world. And that really upsets some people because, and there's a lot that's been said about like, oh, in the Japanese version, they don't have these dialects, you know, like that isn't da-da-da, or, you know, that they don't have those accents, dialect, etc. But and this is my amateur take on all this. I will also say, from my limited experience and the years that I spent around my Japanese friends and stuff, I really just, I don't know. I think it's I think it's a population that is a little, I would say, significantly less accustomed to hearing their language being spoken with a foreign accent than a lot of other places. This is just my quick, like, I don't know, like, probably I'm wrong. I have nothing to back me up on this necessarily, but oh, God, come on. But like, in my limited experience, I noticed that, oh man, I missed a call. They're gonna give me a bomb. I noticed that some of the Japanese folks I met that had traveled a lot, I didn't have to get things necessarily perfect or really close to perfect for them to understand me, but some of the ones who hadn't spent that time studying abroad or whatever, it sometimes felt like, damn, if I get like a single, you know, a single phoneme wrong, a single syllable wrong, they're just like, I don't know what you're saying. You know, I have no idea what you're trying to say to me. And, you know, to my untrained ear, it would sound like I got it really close, you know, and, but, you know, again, it's like, what's up, Rhodes? Welcome, man. I'll get that sip. You know, it's a country that really has, such a high percentage of the country is Japanese and born there, you know. And I think in general, they are a little less accustomed to, or maybe a lot less accustomed to hearing people speak their language with a foreign accent. I don't know. This is... But yeah, the Kansai accent comes out whenever, you know, that is often used whenever, like, it's a, you know, they want to show a country character or, you know, someone with a little twang. Man, I'm missing all kinds of stuff. Well, Rotes, it's a game you also play a lot for score attack too, because it's a pretty short game. So yeah, it's beaten, all the medals are collected. I'm just gonna spend at least today and tomorrow, probably move on after that, but doing just working through score attack and trying to get as many points as we can. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Dustin. Yeah, it's I mean, you know, there's you know, to them, significant amounts of in bigger cities and stuff, people could be more accustomed to hearing accents more regularly, but yeah, I would just say as a whole, I don't think, again, that they're a, you know, because there is such a homogenous. This is a bad. Yeah, this one, it's not going to be. We might not hit the record. We might not hit the scoreboard with this one. We'll see. Oh shit! Bad time to look away. About to get hit with a giant mace? Question mark. Oh, cool, man! That was quick, Rotes. How cool is that, man? All right, let's get these. Yeah, you got me. There you go. I gotta get more of these bombs. Okay. Now I can get this. There we go. Ah. I don't know why I did that. Oh, come on. Shit. All right, crane is destroyed. I need to get a bunch of bombs. No crane. I need to get out of there with more bombs, yeah. Cool. Yeah, that was that's like your reporting date, isn't it? September 4th is when you gotta be fully, you know, well, I guess reporting to work at the new place. Oh man. Did you, oh, like as in you were asking him if he wanted to play Rotes and he didn't hear from him? Oh, so you won't actually be going in on that day, is that right? Yeah. It did sound like you were maybe particularly aggravated yesterday. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, sometimes the unnecessary subtitles, Palpuck, when you're like, you know, hearing a pretty decent, you know, take a pretty decent accent. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they get a little overzealous with the subtitling of a, you know, especially considering that they're. I know a lot of people, hey, born and raised, that, you know, certain accents and dialects can be difficult to hear, or people can just say something so fast or in a funny way that, whereas, you know, let's switch. Yep, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, I was hearing you. I know at one point you were talking about, like, they kept sort of looting all your stuff, or kind of like you'd land in a building and then they're just like going around and taking everything. It's not being good teammates. Running right up on you and okay, that was Martin. Okay. Whoops. Yeah. But yeah, I guess just to close that loop, I you know, I know that I was learning Japanese, and I know that my proficiency was not that great, but there definitely were a couple of times that I was just like, man, come on. I was really close to what, you know, to getting that enunciation right, you know, like, it just felt like sometimes people really lacked the ability to use sort of context clues. Every now and then I ran into that issue. Like, it was as if the sentence was totally incomprehensible when I think most other, I don't know, I think that if the tables were turned, it's like, I think most people here would kind of know what that person had said, but that wasn't everybody. But yeah, I mean, it is, again, it's a very homogeneous country. And I'm gonna shoot all my bombs. I like to shoot all my bombs. Oh yeah, you mentioned Assassin's Creed, huh? I never played any of those games. They look cool. You know, part of it was I didn't have did the first one come out on PS3? Is that right? I just oh man. I'm not doing a good job of those uncharged shots I was talking so much about. Looked cool, but didn't get much of a yield for it. Yeah, they look cool. I never played any of them. It seemed like they, some of them kind of get into this sort of open world thing, right? So what's that, like a remaster that they've done? Yeah, I guess it's just a little bit later than that. I had to think about it too for a second, Palpuck, but I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it was never PS2. I honestly wish I would have gotten a PS3 back then, because there are a lot of series that are still going at this point that, you know, I never saw the beginning of it. A lot of stuff that's still running at this point, you know, got its start on PS3. Oh man, bomb down there. Ikuwayo. Oh, I just noticed a little, they put those little symbols in between each of those. It's like, here I come. Yeah. Those PS3s are like gold now. Oops. Yeah, I got an Xbox really late in its life. I think maybe the next, you know, the next, I guess the 360 might have already been out at that point, or was about to come out, and I never ended up doing much with it. I got just a game or two. I remember getting Halo and just the original, I think. And at that time, I was excited to get. Oh, we missed one. Well, yeah, definitely gonna need to restart this to have any chance. Yeah, that's okay. Hey, Hedgehog. Man, I don't remember the last time I missed. I don't remember the last time I missed one of those. Destroy the boulders. Come on. Be nice to get an enemy every now and then. Some of these guys have bombs too. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Man, there's a lot of enemies here. Gonna need some laser upgrades quick. Get this guy. Oh yeah, you can't do the you can't do that charged unlock shot here, I guess. Yeah. How are you, Hedgehog? Welcome, and yeah, happy Thursday. Or at least you can't like do Z and R, I guess. That's the distinction. Man. Gotta do some damage down there. Nice. That's what we like to see. Oop, get him. Oh, I'd love that, Palpuck. We do like Miyamoto around these parts. I won't stand for any of the Miyamoto slander, okay? Hey, you know, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Hey, some of these people are just pissed about Miyamoto these days because he probably single-handedly, you know, walked into their meeting and flipped the table and was like, hey, I know you guys are almost done with this game, but we're gonna need some major changes. What if you did this instead? You know, but hey, he's like any good coach, you know, he knew when to push. He knew how to get the most. You know, how to squeeze the most out of, you know, anybody who's training. You gotta hit that. Go, go, go. Okay, whoops. Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo. Gotta get number 3. I wonder if that's the one I missed. Hold on. Now I'm like paranoid. I usually just totally, you know, I kind of go about the same way, and it's just been a while since I missed one of the switches. Alright, it's one on the left. Okay, got him. Yosh. Runaway train, never coming back. All right, all the giant peach explosions. That's a great shot too. Walking away from the explosion. Yeah, I don't know. I want to come back to the. Had to stop myself from saying circle back. I want to go back to the voiceover thing for the Ocarina remake, because yeah, I am curious what they do with it. And again, it just really bugs me when I see people say that, like, you know, basically, like, I don't know, that any game that doesn't do that nowadays is just, you know, it's kind of, I don't know. I've seen people say that there's no excuse to not have, like, full voice acting, or at least most of it, you know, most of the characters with voice actors, etc. And I don't know, man. People, again, if it's not good, then I'd rather not have it at all. And the problem with it being good is that it's still, you know, like if they put subtitles up and everything, most of us are reading the subtitles before they're finished speaking. And I don't, you know, like, you know, that's not always a problem, but of course that means that sometimes you've read and understood what the sentence is, and then you're still waiting on the voice actor to finish it up, and sometimes they can just be very slow, and it's like there's a gap between lines that would be unnatural if it were, you know, in some kind of live action thing. You know, it can all feel like it's recorded in a well, you know, it is, but kind of sometimes the VO can feel really disconnected, even just one line to the next being said from the same character, you know. And yeah, I know that's the thing. I don't like to do it, because then you get but then you could have a... Well, I think I would... You know, it's just like... yeah, it's... But with that being said, you know, it's like I don't want to be impatient, but if the VO isn't particularly compelling, I'd just rather not have it in there at all. All right, 2 more, well, 2 plus more levels. Ba 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 ba.
Okie dokie.
And yeah, you know, I think it's kind of funny too, because I guess it's been like a long running joke of like streamers playing a game that's new to them and just cutting everything off and still not reading it. You know? Like, oh, I don't, you know, what's going on? I don't want to hear this dialogue. Get to the action, you know. And then they're like, wait, where the fuck am I supposed to go? You know. And it's just like, you know, it's honestly kind of sad. We're gonna have to do better than that. In fact, why don't we just go ahead and restart, since we're already at single laser, but... What, I had to recognize that name, Palpuck. What's that from? Easy does it. I'm trying to take out some of these capital ships, so that's not what I was intending to do. Oh man. I think I need to try the just charge shots more, at least for this run. I don't have it yet to really... I'm missing a lot of like groupings. No help from Great Fox, please. I don't want you guys stealing my kills. I could start over if I need to. No, that's the name of the game. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was just a character's name. Ouchies. Well, I might get another chance to start over. Ah. Buddy, I already helped you. Come on. Hold still. Ha 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 ha. Get his ass. Let's go. They're everywhere. Okay, come on. I'm about to blow a wing off, I think. Ooh, that was like a bunch of sort of group shots there. Didn't get that ship, huh? Oh shit. Man, I did really well in a couple parts of this level. Got me thinking about the potential. Hit him with the uncharge. Here we go. Chopped up British cliches, kind of like Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they'll do, because I mean, Ocarina is my, you know, I mean, it's pretty much my favorite game of all time. See what they do. I remember Pokemon having, maybe Zelda did too, but I'm pretty sure Pokemon had something on the box about, hey, basic reading skills are required. You know, I think as like a, you know, kind of a heads up, like, hey, your tiny kid might not know what the hell's going on in this game if they can't read. Oh yeah, not yet. Next phase. Destroy the tentacles. This game's got it all. Furries, tentacles. What, capital poppycock? A good old what always gets me. It would, Nick. I absolutely it would. I know it's hard to get into that habit. That's something else to incorporate for sure. Honestly, thank you for the reminder, because I did more of that on Aquas, and it helped in a couple of spots. Ooh, it's hot. It's a hot one today. I meant to get this a long time ago, but yeah, this isn't gonna be a, yeah, this won't hit the records, I don't think. No, I think our max we can do is 200 something. I think you can get 200 in this spot. Okay. You can, like, take these guys out during their cutscene, but I haven't taken a good angle at it in a while. I remember being able to do that trick sometimes as a kid and sometimes getting some really fast kills. I got you, Falco. They love to stay just kind of above your range, too. Oops, sorry, Pat. There we go. Oops, have to fly into some people. Out of the way, Slit. Okay. Ah! Hey, you okay? Ah, little kitty has a hairball. Hey. You okay? That's gotta suck to wake up with a hairball. Have that wake you up.
ダメかと思ったよ。
Where'd he go? Oh. It's like seeing everybody except for Andrew. Breakings for grandmas. Yeah, it helps you to fly like a grandma in this game. At least in terms of speed. Maybe not so much the likeliness or likelihood of a collision. I had to run some errands before the stream today, and you know, I know a couple of basic ways around town, but I don't know, you know, like, it's usually just like, okay, I know kind of one way to go there. I don't really have that a good sense yet of, like, you know, multiple ways to get to the same route in case you need to. And so I've been using GPS for the most part, and it routed me onto this freeway for a very short time, and it was just pretty unnecessary, honestly. I think it was, you know, typical thing of like, oh, we can save you 1 minute if we send you this more stressful way. And basically I got on the freeway, and then that lane ran out, so I had to merge in, and then it was basically like the next exit I needed to get back over, but there's other people merging, and you know, I'm trying to merge over right to get into the to take the off-ramp. Everyone that's coming in from that lane, it needs to get onto the freeway. They probably wouldn't get on there only to oh man, apparently if I time that a little better I can get an extra hit. Something I read earlier today. Yeah, this isn't going to be on the record board, sadly, but it's okay. Come on. Disappear at least. You're not gonna let me hit you. Alright. And it just, you know, I need to get into this lane that they need to merge out of and get on the freeway. And it's like, okay, you know, like, let's work together here on this. I need to go in your lane, you need to go where I am. Like, and I put the turn signal on to go right. And, you know, I'm seeing the exit is kind of coming up, and I'm already like, man, I might not be able to hit this exit. We'll see, you know. And then I see, so I'm speeding up a little bit within a safe margin, you know, to try to see if I can get in, but the turn signal was on for quite a long time. And then I start seeing the guy speed up, like, no, you know, like, no, you're not going to get in. So, you know, I hit the boost, and I double checked to make sure I had enough space, and I checked to make sure I wasn't about to hit, you know, run into the back of somebody. And I was like, you know what? I need to get this exit. I see that I have enough space. I'm gonna do it. And I do it, and the guy instantly like, you know, it's like, and it's, and then I see him go into the lane that I had been in right after that. But it's like he was like, no one should be going faster than me right now, you know. It's just like, I don't expect, every time someone has a turn signal on, I don't expect everyone around them to be able to accommodate that. But it's like, damn, come on, man. Let's work together on this. We're basically just trying to trade spots. Well, yeah, I saw that I was gonna have enough room to get in, and I did. And it wasn't like, it wasn't a dangerous maneuver on my part. It just pissed him off. I did like a quick wave. Ah, thanks, you know. Oh, fucking asshole. A jerk. I did the nice wave, but my, the words coming out of my mouth were not very nice. Do, 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 do. It wouldn't have been the end of the world if I had missed that exit, but at a certain point, it's like, nah, this guy is trying to speed up just enough to discourage me from, I don't know. I once I saw I could safely get over, I was like, fuck him, we're gonna do this. Road rage, Parvinator. All right, we did it. Big goals this time. Work in the occasional uncharged shot, and because I did use that successfully in a couple spots, and yeah, really, you know, lay into that break. I'm melting down. You know what? I'm gonna get a little break after this, I think. We don't have too much longer till it's over. I should set up a screen to let this play out while I go to break instead of like another video or something. Okay, thanks for the tip. I guess I could always just disappear. I'm gonna stay for the trophy ceremony or the the celebration here. General Pepper and his dog army.
Starfox, よくやってくれた。君たちさえ良ければ我が軍に入って一緒に。いえ、我々にはこの方が性に合っていますから。
グレートフォックス、出発準備完了。
俺たちはもう行きます。
Breaking Grandma. I am Sweaty Man. Well, I was hanging out on Ichigo's stream and Rotz's stream last night, having a good time. And it was funny. At one point, everyone was inundating Ichigo with Final Fantasy VIII song requests and saying their favorite songs and stuff. There was one point when I looked at the chat, there were like several, you know, everybody's reminiscing about their favorite songs, and he put on the Man with the Machine Gun for a little bit. I was like, this might be a little too high energy for my stream. But that inspired me to hear the album, well, hear the soundtrack again. So I did that during my jog this morning. Yeah, there's like the piano stuff is good. I know he mentioned that's how he's mostly listened to the soundtrack outside of the game. The piano stuff is great, piano collections. Other than that, I'd you know, oh, then and the, you know, the stuff from the Black Mages is nice too, but yeah, I like the original soundtrack. There were a couple of songs that came on that I was starting to drag in my run, and then, well, you know, the boss fight song came on. I was like, all right, let's go. We got this. Yeah, almost all my Final Fantasy playing, well, I'll just say that in terms of hours played, the vast majority of that was, for me, between the ages of... Oh, we actually did land on the board, I think just barely, maybe by a point. Oh no, 1524 was 10th place, 1548 was top score. We can do that, man. This is the first time I made it on the board in a while, so... I'm on the right track. 7th place. That was a pretty good Sector 6. I'd like to see how it compares in a second. .376 on Sector 6. Yeah, that was a really good Sector 6. Oh, excuse me, Area 6. The best I've had on this cart. And I saw some definite points that I was like, oh yeah, I'm missing some stuff here. I could get this. That's doable. Yeah, most of my stuff, my playtime on Final Fantasy was kind of between like when I really started diving in back in like the 7th grade, and then, you know, I'd say 22, 23, something like that, you know. And since then, I've played every now and then. I've gone through a couple of them since then, but usually in a lot of starts and stops, and you know, some of them are pretty long. We did it. Can you believe it? What was Dustin's order? He said start with 6 and play to 10, then go back and play 5. Yeah, you know, I will say, I never played anything prior to 4. And that does feel like I would have liked to have done those a while back, you know. Some of the earliest stuff. I've spent 2 seconds on the first game, you know, but I fired it up and, you know, made some characters, but chose my jobs for the party, but, you know, played for 30 minutes, but that's about it. All right, I want to get one more run in. I've got some time, so we'll do that. Sorry, having some issues here. Yeah, I figured at this point I'd like to play more Dragon Quest too. I really came to like that series, doing Dragon Quest 3 and, you know, working my way through 11 right now. And as a kid, I played some of 7 as well. It's a really, really long one. And I don't think I was ready for that at that point. That one, I would like to try again someday. They actually did a, I guess it's a Dragon Quest 7 Revisited, I think they called it. And that came out somewhat recently. And they streamlined a lot of the stuff because, yeah, 7 had a reputation for being like, for really, really dragging at the beginning. You've got to go through a lot of stuff before you see your first fight. It takes, usually, you know, because you got to do some puzzles and stuff, and it takes, you know, 2 or 3, 2.5, 3 hours, something like that, for a lot of folks to get to the first fight. As a kid, I thought I was engaged with the puzzles and stuff, but, you know, it wasn't a deal breaker for me. I didn't stop at that point. Yeah, sometimes the pacing can be funky. That, Dragon Quest 7 Revisited, I believe? Maybe reimagined? I don't know. I was seeing some good reviews for it, and apparently, like, I wasn't, you know, since I just played Dragon Quest 3 somewhat recently, I wasn't gonna go and play the remakes that they did of DQ3, and then they put out a remake of 1 and 2 together. It looks super fun. I don't need to play Dragon Quest 3 again for a while. I'm good on that, but the stuff for 1 and 2, people were saying it made Dragon Quest 2 like a totally new game. A lot of people seemed really happy with the changes made to DQ 1 and 2. It really fleshed out Dragon Quest 2. Yeah. I think, you know, just knowing what I knew about like the original versions and even the remakes that were on like Super Famicom, it was like, yeah, I'd like to play those sometime, but you know, I'd heard about how originally Dragon Quest 2, they were about to release it. They were like, I think a month out from the release date, and they realized that huge portions of the game had not been play tested. And apparently part of the problem was that they had a simulator. The devs had a simulator where they could go in and have some characters fight any combination of monsters. But they realized way late that no one on the staff had actually played through the whole game. And because of that, they had to delay the release of it. And I think they took like a month crash course, you know, a month of grind to like try to fix that. But there's one area that's, you know, it's really notorious. The Cave to Roan. And yeah, that was the thing. Like it was like Ichigo, what's up, man? Welcome. You know, they really felt the pressure. And Yuji Horii he had a stomach ulcer and stuff from like all the stress. Apparently, a couple of the devs were like, yeah, that was the most stressful of the Dragon Quest games we worked on. I think since they had a template for the first game, they really underestimated what it would take them to put out that second game, and they had such a quick turnaround that. And it's crazy too to just think about that. Like, wait a minute, you haven't played all the way through the game? No, I thought you did. No, they had just used that battle simulator for huge chunks of it, and simulating a single battle at a time does not. In a game that is very like waypoint heavy, like your party is going to take off from this part, and they can't save until they get all the way over to this point. That can't happen. You know, you can't just like play every battle in isolation. The whole point of it is that you've got to go through several consecutive battles and still be able to get out to the other side. And yeah, I guess they really had to like retool a lot of the, you know, stats and experience gained and stuff like that. And even still, there's one point of the game where it pretty much breaks down, and you've got to do a ton of leveling to get through. And then, of course, you know, it's still like you're fighting guys that can do instant death spells to the whole party. So even if you're all leveled up, you know, it's like it's still a bit of a crapshoot. Yeah. Anyway, all that stuff's been fixed with the Dragon Quest 2 remakes, and I did hear that new one is really good. How are you, Ichigo? Welcome, buddy. Welcome. Yif. The Furry's Delight. Starfox 64. I said it the other day, I stand by it. The game that launched 1 million furries. Maybe not that many, but... Alright, I'm gonna get a little break in. I'm glad you're here, Ichigo. I was talking about the, enjoying your stream yesterday, and everybody was inundating you with Final Fantasy VIII music requests. He's a little too... Yeah, I think that this was maybe taken from... So, okay, it didn't originally have the sunglasses, but it seemed like it was... I think it was originally taken from some Smash design. I don't really know. And someone threw the sunglasses on. I found it on Reddit.
Give me a hell yeah!
Reddit on Reddit. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but Maybe it was some official art for Smash, but I'm not 100%. Yeah, man, that was a good time. Alright, guys, I'm gonna get a little break in. Hope you guys can stick around. Yeah, see you back here in a few minutes. BRB.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey guys, we'll probably get one more run in. And then tomorrow I should have some time to get maybe 3. But that is a fun fact, Ichigo. I guess unless you're arachnophobic, and then it's a terrifying fact. I don't mind the spiders. I don't mind them. Most of them are, you know, most of them are good. And they kill some of the more troublesome bugs.
Oh, wow! Wow!
There's some you gotta look out for, yeah. Check your shoes. Always check your shoes before you put them on. How you guys doing? Happy Thursday. Good to see you. Oh, feels good to be back in the cockpit. I had a good time. We drove to San Francisco for that concert on Tuesday. That was a good time. I was able to get in and get the one medal we were missing. And then it just felt like the whole day was like, go, go, go. But yeah, it was actually pretty easy getting in, and rode the BART. Bay Area Rapid Transit. Rode the BART. Rode the Muni, the other subway there. And yeah, I got to my shows easy. I saw Kurt Vile. A guy from Pennsylvania. He just put out an album recently called... Yeah, his band is Kurt Vile and the Violators. But yeah, he just put out that's his actual name, Vile. And I think that's an amazing last name. He just put out an album called Philadelphia's Been Good to Me. But and I like it, but I've only heard it, pretty much all the way through once, and then he played a lot of it live, and that was cool to hear. But my favorite album is probably Waking on a Pretty Days. And like I'll share one for you guys. This is just to put this on like a Sunday morning or something, whatever, whenever. It's a very chill song. I was saying the other day, he got kind of early on, he was sort of lumped into that like alt country kind of genre, but it's not, it's way more rock based than country. It just, he does use acoustic guitar in a couple songs, but yeah, it's cool. It's like, the songwriting is really good. Some of the guitar work is awesome. Maybe the best single by him is Pretty Pimpin' is the name. And it's if you would just looked up one song, I would say maybe start with that one. But yeah, it's good. He knows how to it gets very hypnotic, a lot of the music does, and the band was really good. He and the other guitarist were blowing me away. We got there. We got to the venue kind of early. We went to eat and stuff, and then we're the old people now who got to the show very early. Ended up getting there shortly after doors open, and we walked in, and I was like, I've got a long drive. I'm not gonna have anything to drink, babe. If you want something, you can get something. You should get something. She's like, nah. And we're like, okay, well, we'll just go up there, still about 30 minutes before the music started or something. And they had an opener before that, but we ended up getting like one person off the rail pretty much. And I'm usually never that close at a concert. Sometimes it's not good to be, sometimes in terms of sound, that's not really where you want to be. But I was a little bit worried because the opener, I could hear every instrument except the vocals. The vocals weren't coming in that clear, and at first I was like, maybe we're kind of right under them here, maybe we're too close. But I think it was just the curse of the opening, sound mix. Sadly, you ever been to a concert like that where the main act is mixed really well, but the openers, it's kind of a struggle. And yeah, once he and his band came on, it was like the vocals were crystal clear, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. I'm basically like right under him. After one person left or moved away, my wife was able to get right on the rail, and it's like, okay, he's like a few feet away from us, and I was watching those hands work. He's a good guitarist. All right. He's such a chill guy too. He's got like, long wavy hair. That hair stays in various states of disarray in his face. Seeing him like get it out and then just like shredding, like trying to move his hair, and then didn't miss a beat. But yeah, he's just a very chill guy. You can tell like he's a little, you know, he's not like crazy, loud, talkative front man. You know, he's there's a little bit of shyness in there, but yeah, he's a great performer. Fox has become death. Yes, destroyer of worlds. Let's. All right, we got on the record, or we got on the well, a 7th place PB for myself. Well, let's see if we can do a little bit better. Man, I should have got a soda or something. Oh shit, I probably will have to take a short break and a few levels to... I didn't fix my hydration situation. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna have to skip the cutscenes today since I'm running late again. I cannot get the uncharged shots to save my life. Man, all right. Oh, do you mean like their positioning, Palpuck? Like where Fox was like in the foreground? This is a different. If that's what you're talking about, once you collect all the medals, they change this opening, this title screen here. So yeah, and until that point, until you've collected all the medals in, well, the regular game and then expert, they're pretty much just lined up across from the camera at about the distance that the other 3 are at. But yeah, I guess this is kind of an instant tell that that cartridge has, you know, beaten this game, or has found all the medals. Somebody's earned all the medals. That got me thinking about that got me thinking about any other times that... One second. Fox found it. Yeah, you know, he looks really big. Right, he's like right up in the camera too. But you know, it had me thinking of other times that they'll change the title screen based on your completion, or you know, some kind of special status or 100% or something. I was thinking about Mario Kart 64 does that. Like, I think, but you have to be mirror mode. You know, beat all the GPs in mirror mode, and I think that changes it to, like, it's sort of more I don't know, it's a scene that maybe it's in Calamari Desert, I'm not sure, but it looks like it's kind of sunset, and yeah, it's a different picture at the title screen. Doo-doo.
ライラット系第4惑星コーネリア。かつては宇宙平和のリーダー的存在だったこの星も、ドクター・アンドルフの恐ろしい発明により絶滅の危機にさらされた。コーネリア軍のペパー将軍はこの科学者を辺境の惑星ベノムに永久追放したのだが、惑星ベノムの不穏な動きをキャッチしたペパー将軍はその調査を
Just wanted to check something. Those completionist sickos. Yeah, I don't... Whatever AI is writing articles for Kotaku has... They scanned all of our streams and they realized that, hey, we're seeing an increase in people talking about sickos. In a gaming context. Mario Kart DS and Double Dash do. Oh, I wonder if I don't know if I ever saw the Double Dash. Maybe I did. I just don't remember it. I really liked Double Dash. That was, other than Mario Kart 8, that was like the last time I really got into a Mario Kart. a lot of that played. Come on. I really just wanted to try at the very beginning to get some of the splash kills, but all right, let me skip through that stuff really quickly. Go, 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 go. Intro hell. Completion is sickos.
Came in here. No problems.
Once again. Dragon Quest XI. It's changed title screen several times throughout the journey so far. I think I got 17 on that earlier today. You know, I was thinking, maybe I'll see if I can set this up between today and tomorrow. But I could use some kind of, you know, little, like, personal bet or PB tracker kind of thing. You know, let me know what were my best scores on these levels. I should set that up. That'd be fun. Now entering the corn area. Oopsie daisy. Like I had, yeah. Yeah, so there's a couple of spots I was reading about. If you fly through them, you generate more. Yeah, that's great. Okay, well, I'm doing terribly, but. Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Yeah. That too. All right, can I get a run going? Speaking of charity, I guess one of the iterations of GDQ is happening, right? I actually caught a little bit of Super Metroid speedrunner Oats and Goats. No, I have seen his stream, and he's, you know, he's awesome. It was Zinny, one of the other big ones. Damn. I'm getting worse. I was seeing that he was mentioning, like, he was doing some practice for, I wonder if his run has already happened. I can't really watch those just because it's cool that they raise money for charity, but like the live announcing of, like, you know, people, oh, I'm so glad that you're playing this game. I've always loved Star Fox 64. Do a barrel roll. You know, it's like, it's just not a very fun product to watch, honestly, you know. There we go, we're blowing wings off. Oh, not yet, I guess. Yeah, well, they have a live announce. No, they have a, well, basically like a, yeah, text to speech, but it's not a robot doing it. It's a live, you know, it's someone on a mic coming in every now and then, and you know they'll have the One more reset. They'll have often because it is for charity, a lot of the folks who do the speed runs, they're not they tend to do some like teaching through it or like explaining what they're doing. And you know, and it doesn't seem like most of them are like necessarily shooting for PB and just like absolutely locked in, because there's a level of like hosting that many of them do, and sometimes one person will be just absolutely locked in, but they'll have another person, typically like another speedrunner for that game, explaining what they're doing to the rest of us casuals. But yeah, they every now and then they will get messages that, you know, came with a donation, and they'll read those out loud, and they'll be like, hey, I think we can go to a couple of messages now, or let's do a couple of donations now. You know, you'll have the streamer or the person who's kind of walking us through the game. They'll go back and forth between describing what the player is doing, and then like, oh yeah, let's get a couple of donation messages in now, and then they'll cut to, okay, we have from starfox69 a $50 donation. You know, starfox69 says, I always love the Star Fox series. Do a barrel roll, you know. And yeah, just it's really. It just sometimes I'm happy that they're raising money, but it's not always that great to watch, you know, honestly. Yeah, you probably kind of seen that before, huh, Ichigo, or something similar. Gotta lock onto that guy. They do VTubing now. That's interesting. Were you seeing that from like the current one that's on right now? I think I turned it on for like 2 seconds recently, but I wasn't able to watch at that time. I was like, I had just finished up a workout and I was leaving the room and stuff. Oh. Everything gets blown up. Why did I use a bomb there? I also forgot there's these extra things you can fly between and generate more enemies. Or a bomb. I missed one back there. Get him. Yeah, it has Dustin. Like I said, I appreciate that they raise for some good causes, but the product on the screen has kind of become, man, missed another one that's over there. Almost unwatchable. Yeah, I know. It's so like you can see a lot of the comments coming from a mile away, the jokes and stuff, and there's an aspect of like speedrunning that you know, again, this is just me. I had the long and much talked about gaming hiatus, you know. I think we were already past 150 maybe before. Maybe not. We'll be soon. But like I don't know, the like viewer who doesn't really play the game at all themselves, let alone speedrunning. You know, hey, right, speedrunning is tough. Most of us don't do it. Tater, what's up, man? Welcome. But like, there is a certain breed of like Twitch or YouTube chatter who like exclusively watches speedrun content, and they don't even really care to like play the original game, but they talk so much about the game, and it, like, I don't know, man, it just like at a certain point it's like it just feels so devoid of the actually getting in and picking up a controller to play the game, you know? Maybe that sounds harsh, but it just feels very disconnected from the actual process of gaming. I don't want to sit and watch speedruns for a game that I haven't played. That's just me, but... Oh yeah. How are you, Tater? Welcome, buddy. Got a fajita bonaire? With that being said, even if you don't play Mega Man X, you should watch T-Roy streams. Support T-Roy. I don't know, there's just a corniness that tends to come from... I think I'm just kind of being mean right now, but... Do-do-do-wee-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, glad you're here. Tater's here, the party's getting started now.
Speedrunning is the most degenerate act man has ever come up with.
Yeah, we do love the silly talk around here, absolutely. Yeah, the jokes get really old, Dustin, for sure. You don't have to spend much time around the speedrunning for a game to kind of pick up on some of the same stuff that just gets repeated over and over again. Alright. Shooting for something better here. Get this guy. What's new, Tater? Hope you had a good day, buddy. I want fajitas now. I can't really reset too many more times. I don't have a... Well, you know, I'm already going to be a little bit late tonight. Sure, it is. I think it's, I don't know, it's less with the runners themselves sometimes and more with... I don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, repetition is huge. Many speedrunners are doing a... Do those count as hits? They're doing the same run or very slight variations on it often. So, you know, repetitiveness is kind of built into it. And in general, it's just, it's not my bag, just as a whole. I just, you know, I've kind of come to that. I love this. I love some of the speedrunners. Don't love this, the whole speedrunning concept necessarily. Come on, break. We gotta break. Every now and then we need to break. Gotta read Tater's comment there. I saw something about between two jobs. Oh man. No pay or use your vacation. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, I know you've Yeah, I know that you've had a couple days you come by and mention like just, you know, you were really pretty worn down, so sometimes you really need that break, huh? Oh, I bet, man. Yeah, and then it's awful, and you've got hours left on the job. I could see it could be a blessing sometimes. Yeah. Well, I imagine there's a little, with like seasonal stuff, I imagine some of the work kind of breaks down to be more seasonal. So maybe there's a little bit of like feast and famine. Feast or famine. There's times when you're probably like, this is, yeah, we could use the break. Yeah, okay, I could see that being, I could see that being pretty steady. Yeah, they've always got money to blow. Go, go, go! Get him! Oh, we got a good run. There you go. He just stood there. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, well, I know every time I visited an apartment looking for a new place, coincidentally, I had to use the restroom. And you get to learn a little something else about that apartment too when you go and use the restroom. It wasn't always a number one either, that's all I'm gonna say. Rabbit starvation. When I say feast, you say famine. Feast. Feast.
Oh my God!
I'll let my chat know when I fart in a snob's house. I gotta get a little scoreboard for you guys. That'll help me too. Know the number to beat. Where do you go for that kind of thing? I'm sure I can find it, but yeah. Most of the stuff I see is, I guess you can customize it, you know, the cells with whatever you want, but most of the stuff I see is speedrun oriented. Hey, he's got that Lockheed Martin money, you know? Right. Farted so hard. I'm just walking around crop dusting. I mentioned that concert the other that I went to on Tuesday. I had a great time. Man, during the opener, this had to have been, you know, I don't know how I would rank such a thing, but this had to have been, speaking of rank, one of the most rank farts I had smelled in years. Yeah, I honestly thought someone had shat themselves and needed to check their britches, because it was bad. And we're all right up there at the front too, so, and there was like, at this point the crowd was kind of thick, and you know, you didn't really have a lot of wiggle room. It was a rank one, right? As I started to try to mention where it might rank, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Set myself up for this one. There's almost no better feeling than realizing you're about to hit a sweet wordplay, you know? when you see the potential. Oh god, get this guy, get that guy. Apparently there's a lot of random shit you can shoot a missile at that nets you points too in this level, but I don't know where most of those opportunities are. I need his help. So, you know, we're all in really close quarters, and I nearly did the, like, middle school thing of, like, putting the shirt over the nose, like, because I really was just like, oh. You know, I typically don't have that weak of a stomach, but this one, I had the thought there for a second that if this doesn't clear out, I might need to get the fuck out of this crowd and, like, possibly make a run for the bathroom or something. And I was this close to, like, putting my shirt up over my nose, the old technique. Probably not that effective, but I realized, like, okay, if I do this, I am essentially shaming this person. Now, is that a problem? I guess is the next question. I should have brought my gas mask. Yeah, I know. Thankfully, I think there was just maybe one more the whole rest of the time. But yeah, I know I couldn't have been the only one thinking, like, my God, this is awful. Get these guys. Might have had some support, you know? That's true, Ichigo. Well, so I mentioned this to my wife during the set break. No, actually, it was on the way home. I tried to tell her, like, as it was happening, and you know, I was like, I tried to, like, say, man, somebody just shit themselves or something. But she didn't hear me, and I was like, well, I don't want to yell. It was rough. Had me thinking about, is it socially acceptable to call this out? So anyway, I mentioned it on the ride home. I was like, oh yeah, during that first concert, I was trying to tell you, like, I smelled a really awful fart. I was thinking about, like, covering my nose up with my shirt, you know. And she mentioned that, like, she had read something recently about, I don't remember who the artists were, but, like, I guess in somewhat recent history, a couple of artists have, like, spoken out about people in the front row, especially the, like, rail riders, the people who go to a music festival and like, will sit through 6 shows of music because they want to see that one big act that's coming on hours and hours later. And apparently it became a, I won't say common practice, but a more common than before practice to wear adult diapers when you normally don't need one, just for the express purpose of being able to stay up there as long as you can. Because if you go to the bathroom, bro, you're gonna lose your spot, you know. And apparently a couple of music artists have, like, told crowds, like, don't do that. Like, you need to go to the bathroom. We can actually smell you. We can actually, the performers can actually smell that. And I was so, my God. Really? Okay, that's, she mentioned, yeah, it might have been, yeah, maybe she even mentioned her. That's funny. I guess, yeah, at a music festival or two, people had to, you know, they're just, like, grossing out the artists on stage. It's not like it just disappears if you wear it. This is an awful topic. I realize that, you know. But stop. Don't hit them. Go up here. But, you know, I get that I don't get the points if I finish this stage too early. Right, Palpug, yeah, that's a defense. Yeah, keep that in your backpack for the music festival. But like, it's not as if when one wears a diaper, it's not as if it just goes away. You know, you can smell when a baby has has soiled their diaper. Like, it's not a magic, like... And now you're just sitting in your own filth. Oh yeah. I remember seeing a shot, Dustin, a while back of like a... It was when he was visiting the newly crowned King of England, and they took a carriage ride together, and one of the top comments was like, man, just imagine the smell. And sure enough, the king did have a sour face. Sour look on his face. Yeah, they were getting in this, like, you know, that really old school royal carriage. And we're talking it all. Spiders. My intense hatred for speedrunning? No. I don't hate it.
I'm pissed now.
Diapers? As a person who has gone to a lot of live music and a handful of music festivals, I've known people that have done a lot more with that, but I've been to a handful. I really think that, like, the amount of people who will do what I was saying, at least about, like, trying to get up to the very front and just staying there for hours and hours and hours because the act they want to see is much later. That and standing in lines for merch and getting to these shows extremely early, like, you know, a day or two before, and lining up and stuff, that it has not always been to that extent. I really think that's ramped up in the last few years, and I don't know if it's just like, you know, I don't know if this is like another knock-on effect of COVID, and, you know, people of a certain generation not being able to get out during some of their, you know, earliest years of adulthood, and but like it's I don't know if anybody else can back me up on this, but like there's always been, like, that has always, like, especially at a music festival, getting to the front and then waiting, that's happened to an extent, but like it is insane. Like, I feel like it's to a much higher degree now, and that brings a lot of bad, like, a lot of artists, you know, imagine being, I always crack up when this has happened. Imagine being, you know, one of those artists who, like, oops, get him. Damn. Oh, trying to give me bombs here. Get these guys. You know, like, everyone for the first however many, you know, rows of people standing up, they're all there looking totally uninterested and on their phones because they're there for the Olivia Rodrigo show later that night. And whatever, you know. Could have used that bomb. And I've been to a couple of festivals where one of the funniest was the Viagra Boys. Was like, they're great. I saw them play at Desert Days a few years back, and they were, I think, like, maybe next to last act, or maybe it was them and then there were 2 more acts that were billed as headliners after them. But like they were like calling out the people at the front, and they're just like, what are you doing here? Like, you guys are just standing there. And like, he's like, what are you guys here to see, some rapper or something? They're all just like sitting around, like looking bored as hell, and like making, you know, like their music is pretty abrasive, kind of a little punk, or that sort of part of the, whoops, it's like a little part of that. They're grungy dudes, you know, who make grungy music. We'll just put it that way. And Tame Impala was playing that night, and man, just so much bad behavior of the like people shoving through the crowd to try to get to see the Tame Impala show. And I love Tame Impala, but he's way too popular, honestly. Like to make for like a to make that it takes some of the fun out of it when like it just brings that element of like super fan, honestly. And so many of them, and like I said, they all just like they just stand there like a lump on a log. I like you know, I like a lot of the stuff from Elephant was the first one that came to mind. That's not my favorite song, but that's always a fun jam, right? Missed it, didn't I? Oh, we got it. A lot of people didn't like Currents who were into his earlier stuff, but I do like that album. It grew on me a lot. But the stuff after that, I felt, hasn't ever hit as hard for me. But I think probably all-time favorite from them is on Currents, and that would be the oh shoot, it was one of the big singles off of it. Let It Happen. And I saw that one live a few years prior, and it was, you know, I mean, it was nice hearing him rip a fuzz solo. I really fuzzed out, you know. Oh god, this is gonna hurt. Catching that live, it was really good. And the visuals were awesome. I like those first couple albums the most. Well, throw Currents in there too, it's really good. Well, it's like it's a one-man, so the albums are pretty much done just by Kevin Parker. But when he tours, he has you know, there's a backing band and stuff, and some of those guys are from other various Australian bands. But yeah, he's from Australia, and he started with the real kind of like psych rock bass. There was a lot of like kind of Pink Floyd influence and other stuff, and then over time it became more electronic, and now that's mostly kind of electronic and dance. It still has. The production is always really good, and he actually does production on like a lot of pop, and a lot of artists who are more pop than he is, they've like, you know, had him produce their albums and stuff just because he is an amazing producer. But yeah, he spends a lot of time, like a lot of the albums, they take a really long time to come out because it's just him, and he's like, you know, very much a perfectionist. But yeah. he's worked with a lot of like really big pop acts that I don't, you know, I hardly know or listen to, but so that's how some people have come to find him. Sure, Palpuck, I hear ya. Oh, whoops, forgot the crane. It cost us some time. That's okay, no more crane. Oh, crane is still here, actually. Well, shit. No, get the crane. There we go. No, I get you, Palpuck. No worries. Honestly, with him, the true hipster answer would be something along what I gave. With I liked him before he was big. I did see him. He opened for the Flaming Lips. And this was like 2012 or something. And I went there mostly to see the Flaming Lips. At this point, he only had, I think his second album had come out or something. Hi, Francisco, welcome. And Flaming Lips were the headliner, but I was like, dude, this guy's awesome. This band rocks. And my wife had to tell me who they were. Yeah, it can be really crazy, Ichiko. They do a mix of like, you know, a lot of the light and laser stuff. They also did some really cool, at that music festival I saw them at, they did some really cool live analog effects. So, you know, they're still shooting the concert from various angles, but they're using those like sort of analog effect processors to, you know, get in and or glitch, you know, so it's stuff along the lines of, well, it's not like looking like some horror movie with the, you know, that stuff, but like, you know, it's putting in a lot of interesting analog like interference and changing colors through that, and that was the stuff I actually enjoyed the most, was that mix of the live filming of the performance, and then they're running it through the you know, my buddy had one of those controllers, or like it was a big analog, I forget, I was just using a term for it, but it's just got a ton of switches and buttons and stuff, and it's you know, he actually bought a Retrotink when he saw mine and we talked about it. He actually bought it for that purpose, to help him do like live visual stuff. But yeah, you can add really cool effects onto the live video. So seeing the band perform, but then it's like, you know, it's all, you know, there's like particle effects coming off of them, and like, you know, there was some really cool stuff that they did, that mix of you know, filming the concert and then running it through those analog switchers and stuff. Yeah. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. I had one of my best friends in college was huge into Bell and Sebastian, and I know some Alt J too. Yeah. This was Tame Impala you saw from a distance, you're saying? They did some crazy laser effects for a couple of the songs when I saw them at the Hollywood Bowl. We were up at the very top of this big, I think it's like an 18,000 person venue, you know, outdoor amphitheater, I guess I should say. And it was, even from up there, you know, yeah, it was like, the visuals could be overwhelming at times. Okay, here we go. I don't think we got credit for all the boulders when we did that. Yeah. They honestly got, it sounds, again, she used the word hipster, it sounds very hipster, but they really kind of like got, the fan base just, it got so crazy, and like I said, I had been to that Desert Days Festival for several years, and it just grew every year, and that one, I honestly like. There was a band I really wanted to see that night. I've mentioned this story before, but like, it just brought fans who are like only there to see Tame Impala, and not only were they like, it wasn't like they were sort of curious about anything else. They, god damn, missed every one of those. You know, that's fine to like go to something to see a particular artist, but like. They were so rude with any of the non-headliners, and like talking through entire sets and stuff, and it was such a bad experience. And folks just gabbed throughout the entire set of a really great band that was playing. They'd already announced that they were going to go on hiatus after that tour, and this was going to be like one of the last shows they did. Hikagaku Noyo, a great Japanese psych rock band. I'll put them in the chat here in a second. And people were just so, they just wouldn't shut up around, and just, you know, we were in the thick of the crowd, and like, the crowd felt really standoffish, too. It was just really, I don't know, man. It's a very strange feeling to the whole thing. And they were all, some of them were there to see Tame Impala, and then it was just like, and then it you know, I look around, and it's a little bit of like Baby's first day out, you know. It's like, these are these kids, like, first time going to a festival, and it's also their first time doing mind-altering substances. Good for them. But they don't know how to behave and, like, still, you know, enjoy, like, not just be a total nuisance to everyone around them. I don't want to judge for that, but it's like, you can still, yeah, like, you can still behave yourself. You can have fun, you can get into the music and stuff, but like, it was just, I don't know, man, it just wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't. Well, you know, it's like, I don't know, I think in some ways it could be a great place for that, but again, like, that some of those very first times for them, and it's like they, you know, they're just like, are total party mode the whole time, and being very loud, and like talking through entire sets. And I'll just say that there was that band I wanted to see. Everyone around us was just chatting loudly, because you had to yell to be heard over the music, you know. So everyone around us was just like yell talking, having full-on discussions. And I heard these people behind us like, oh yeah, where are you from? Oh yeah, I'm from here, you know. Oh great, hey, this is my wife, she blah blah blah. You know, they're meeting these people for the first time, and they're just like, what do you do for a living? Oh, well, you know, oh, okay, is that, you know, just like follow up after follow up. Uh-oh. Oh god. Okay, that was close. Flow Rush is that's a good album. Yeah, the production on it is awesome. But yeah, in particular, there was this guy behind me that was just, he must have, I just think he was, you know, 2 sheets to the wind. And he was, the whole time during the concert I wanted to see, he was just like, man, this is like, oh my god, like the music that they are making up there on the stage right now. And like for us to like be in this moment together, listening to this for the first time, and it's happening right now in front of us. This is so beautiful, man. This, oh my God. And it went on for about another minute. This particular, like, wow, man, to just be right here in this moment. And I just remember thinking, like, you're not in the moment, dude. You're talking through the whole fucking thing. Like, you're not taking it in. I get that, you know, the music is blowing your mind, but like, try rocking out to it, or dancing, to turn to your friend and say, this is awesome, and then get back into it, you know, like whatever. I don't well, so Palpuck, the difficult thing is that was almost a crowd crush situation, which made everything so much worse. So it was extremely difficult to get through the crowd. And anybody that had to leave, they had to basically put a shoulder down and, like, you know, piss a bunch of people off. It could be done, but like the only people I saw leaving were like, you know, people who looked like they were getting really sick, or, you know, they're extremely dehydrated, and their friends are trying to get them out, but it's like, it was extremely crowded. I didn't have enough room to like even just have my elbows out a little bit. You know, it was like we're all totally tucked in, and just an awful situation. When I looked for my buddy for a little bit, 'cause we got separated. We tried to find our friend. I had some people getting really, really pissed off for the like temporary invasion of space that we had to do. There was no breathing room, so it was a bad scene. I wish I hadn't been, and we weren't even like up close. That was the thing. It just got too crowded. Yeah, too many people. I would have preferred to have watched that show from further out, but even still, we were like only, I'd say there was half the crowd still ahead of us, you know, in between us and the band. So yeah, that festival had been a lot smaller up until that point, and it was Tame Impala that brought so many people, and yeah, it was unsafe. It's just unfortunate because, you know, he's a great artist, but and I don't, you know, I try to be easygoing and stuff, but I just, there was a certain point where I was like, man, there's no two ways around this. Like, this just sucks. Like, we're way too cramped in. People are dropping left and right, like passing out from dehydration or whatever, having overdone it on drinking drugs. There was a kid near us that, there was a couple, and they looked all of, shit, I shouldn't have called for help. He takes our kills. They looked, you know, all of like 18 maybe, and I heard them all talking about how they were on ecstasy, Molly, whatever. Well, his girlfriend, because of this crazy crowd crush we're all in, she goes down. And she goes down, like, she went down and was, like, immediately in front of me. It was so crowded, thankfully she couldn't hit the ground. But that also meant that it was kind of hard to get everybody to spread out and give her some space. And, you know, the boyfriend is freaking out because she just, like, you know, just kind of like went straight back, and she hit my leg or whatever, and I caught her, as did everyone else around us, because, you know, there was no room. And, you know, we set her down and stuff, and the boyfriend was like, you know, we need some water. Has anybody got any water? And this may sound cringy, but like I had some liquid IV in some electrolyte mix in a big jug of water. And I let him know, I was like, hey, I have some, it's electrolytes, or I said something like that. And he's like, well, I don't give a fuck what it is, like that. And I get it, dude, but like, in case you're going to go dump it in her face or something to try to cool her off, you probably want to know that this is Gatorade and not tap water. But in that moment, of course, he's panicking. I'm like, oh my God, I hope she's going to be okay. I felt like the responsible adult in that. I'm trying to party too. I felt very much like the one like responsible adult. Well, yeah, I in the moment I even wondered if I should ask, if I should tell them that, but it was kind of like, you should know what I'm giving you in case you're about, again, like you're going to try to dump it over her head or something to cool her off really quickly. Well, after a couple of minutes, she gets up and she's giving the thumbs up and stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, surely they're gonna get out of the crowd. And then they just turned around and faced the music and just hung out, And I'm thinking, my God, dude, like she just passed out. You got to get her out of this crowd. Well, she goes down a second time, about 10 minutes later. And I actually, I and a couple other people are like, dude, you need to get her the fuck out of this crowd because she's, she could die. Like, this is, don't mess around with this, like. Having a tough go of it this time. Damn. Oh man, so many of them. Come on, get them. Oh, we don't need help. Thanks, Rob. Actually, I'll take that. But yeah, they were just gonna stay in this crowd, and like I told him, he's like, you need to get her out of this crowd. I don't know if I dropped the F-bomb, like I said, but I was in that moment just trying to be helpful. But it's like, no, dude, I know you guys are some kids, but like this is a dangerous situation, like. Thankfully, they did leave after a little bit. But his group got, arms around her and stuff, pulling her out of the crowd. Yeah. Anyway, sorry for the long story, but yeah, honestly, it was just disappointing because I had really enjoyed that music festival up until that point, and then it just truly got too big. Oh, well, whoops. I need more breaks on this level for sure. I'll do better tomorrow when I'm not telling a long story. Anyway, hey, there we go, Taman. I'm sweating like a pig. Do pigs sweat? I've never been a big crowd. I've never been a big crowd guy. I hate thick crowds. Ooh, I gotta be careful. And when it comes to music, I don't usually like to be up at the front. Thankfully, it wasn't too crazy crowded when I saw that concert a couple nights ago. Really, it was... I wouldn't use the word crowded. It was a sold-out show, but it wasn't... we weren't uncomfortable. other than when somebody ripped a fart, but well, this was what year was this? Maybe 2024 that it happened, so it was a few years after some of the peak of COVID, but I'm sure some people got it. Oh, come on. Oh, it's hard to get all that done with the single laser there. Maybe it was Ichiko, yeah. I went to that same festival during one of the COVID years, but I wore my mask and stuff, and just because, like, you know, well, two things. It was quite dusty, so even if I wasn't worried about COVID, with, you know, my allergies and stuff, it wouldn't have been the worst idea. Damn. I'm not going to get full credit for this. Oh my god, dude. Come on. This is going to be maybe +5 instead of +10. Could have been a fart. I honestly was about to lose my mind when they didn't leave after she went down that second time. They were just gonna hang out there, and then everyone around them basically, oh, +2. Everyone around them basically, like, forced the issue, you know. I wasn't the only one who, like, tried to give the boyfriend like, hey, you need to get her out of the crowd. Like, you know, hand on the shoulder, you know. We are Palpuck, I know. Sweating like a human. Kurvanagat said, "How embarrassing to be human." Damn. Can I do any damage with a single laser? Let's find out. Come on, big man. Anyway, thanks for hanging. It's been a fun one. Sorry for the... I know it's a bit of a downer story, and some of you have heard it before, but... I was absolutely... At the conclusion of that music festival, I was having those thoughts of like, wait, was that way overcrowded and not nearly as good as it had been in every year up until this point, or am I getting old, you know? I remember absolutely wondering that for myself. And coming to the conclusion like, hey, it could be a little bit of both, but yeah, that was particularly gnarly and way too crowded. Okay, guys, we gotta take somebody down, please. There we go. Guess he's the second one. They're right on top of me, huh? Come on. Sorry, Falco. 2 guys left. You're good, but I'm better. Automatic U-turn. Come on. Don't let Slippy get the kill. Oops. And don't kill Slippy. Come on, we need the plus 50 is a big. Big chunk of points. Dang, man. It might not be plus 50 at this rate. Let's see. I'm just gonna start it over. Damn. You don't get much time between killing the last one and then, you know, the and like you know, when you go down into the tunnel and stuff, so wow. Somebody must have lit him up before I got to him, I don't know. There we go. Sorry about that, Falco. Does he call him Star Fox? Kind of sounded like it. Not just Fox, but... God. Peppy, don't you die on me. I love that you get to see when you're doing a hit on the enemy. You know, it's a fun little effect when they're talking to you, I guess I should say, and you know, you're scoring hits or they're taking damage. This is taking way too long once again. All right. Oh, interesting. That's what Venom feels like, huh? You know, I never got to look at, you had mentioned, was it Red Fox? I haven't had a ton of time here in the office, excuse me, the Gaming Lifestyle Lounge, outside of actually, you know, playing a game with you guys or setting up for the very next one. I've been wanting to get some more sound effects and stuff, and that was one thing I've been wanting to look up. When you hit them, a lot of them will do, you know, a somersault. I think I've attacked all of them a little bit. Come on. You're really best to kind of track one if you can. Get him. I got you, Slip. At least I'm trying to. There we go. Let's end this. Still doing plus 50, huh? Oh, there he is. Come on, turn. Where is he? All right, finally. Oh, it was maybe that wasn't it. It was the you were wondering if maybe the game, it was something Miyamoto had worked on, I think, prior to this game, if I remember correctly. And I forgot to write it down. And you were musing that maybe there was like a connection, or that this whole thing was kind of a, not an Easter egg, but that like yeah, sorry. I think that's the best I remember. I want to say you said it was something Miyamoto had worked on before, an old game. And I think you were wondering if there was any kind of, you know, thematic connection, or at the very least, like, kind of a slight reference to something. And I thought it was like maybe a Red Fox, or I think it had to do with the logo. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. I don't know where I got Red Fox from, yeah. Go. Nope. Focus on one hand at a time. It's getting me with the Force Lightning here. Space Firebird. Come on. Damn. I don't think this run goes on the leaderboard, but that's okay. I've been moving closer to the screen here as the game gets more intense. I'm outside of my the range of my fan for a little bit. No wonder I'm melting down. That's that little extra hit I was reading about that you can get. Okay. Close to my guy here. Ah! Got a +1. Alright, just me and the brain. Did you guys ever have to dissect a brain or anything? We had to do shark brains. We had it, one of our, like maybe it was our chemistry class? I can't remember. We had to do, no, it was some other science class. We dissected a shark. These little, small, like baby sharks, I guess? I don't know. And the assignment was to have it, what you had to turn in was the brain connected to the eyes, or, you know, eyes and brain. trying to keep all that intact. And I just remember thinking, like, my God, there was so much. Like, there was a lot of like, okay, I feel like I'm done, and then you still had a long way to go to get it cleaned up, so to speak. But yeah, that was probably the craziest of the dissections that I remember. We did frogs at one point too, I think. I'm gonna come back to that comment pop up and see what that is. Whoops. Oh, now I've got time. Osamu Tezuka? Anime? Oh, also called Space Firebird. Okay. I didn't know about that either. Yeah, at some point, more schools, sometimes it's done via some kind of virtual, thing, if at all, or using models. I remember that there was like a second, like I guess there were a couple of people, the like 2 vegetarians in my high school or something. They had some other kind of like secondary assignment for them, and I don't remember what it was, but I think it used like models instead. The shark one was really gross, and before I took that class, one day it was just like, my God, like it smelled like someone had warmed up a whole catch's worth. The shrimp boat had just come in, and they had warmed the entire catch in a microwave because the whole school stunk. And then like the next year it was our turn to do it. It was just like awful. Sorry to say, Slippy, the frog was pretty interesting. It was a lot like us. Had a lot of the same organs. I'm not in high school, but I don't think I would do that now. I think we just got a PB. Was that 1553? Oh, I think it was something like that. I think we just PB'd. Oh! Man, hell yeah. Okay, I did that and I didn't even feel like I was totally in it.
Give me a hell yeah!
Thanks, man. Sometimes talking through it, almost it's like some of it kind of takes a little pressure off, honestly, because I'm more onto the next thing and not hung up on what I just screwed up on. But oh, Palpuck, that's intense. Yeah, yeah. Dude, I think there's like a Filipino, a really popular Filipino dish that like it usually involves like a pig's head, often prominently displayed and I think taken, eaten from. At least the full pig, I don't know. There's a lot of that in many cultures, including my own southern, Doo-doo-be-doo. I think we just PB'd.
Poggers!
Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I know things get shared often of like, all the crazy seafood and stuff that's eaten all around the world and various states of being alive. I've just seen like a GIF or two of someone filming themselves eating, like trying to eat a squid or something, and I've seen one where it was like latching onto their face, and you can't help but root for the squid a little bit, you know? Although I think at that point it might, you know, I think it was already done for. It's more just like a reaction. A reflex, whatever. All that stuff's bound up in culture, you know. I'm not trying to make a judgment on it, you know. Places that are surrounded by water tend to eat a lot of fish and everything else that swims in the ocean. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ichiko. Yeah. I think the difference to me is like, yeah, you know, that I don't know. You know, I eat vegan and I have been doing that for a long time. And people like to make these sort of like hypotheticals, like you know, like, oh, what, like, you know, this hunter-gatherer, you know, whatever, you know, they'll like choose, you know, either it's you know, folks who still, you know, maybe like the effects of modernization aren't as, you know, poignant on their lives or aren't as strong. And it's like, you know, no, I'm not trying to tell anybody to, you know, to who needs to eat whatever they need to eat in order to get their calories, what to do. But a lot of us do live in the modern world, and we do have choices. It's just something to think about. We have more choices than some people are willing to, you know, are willing to admit. And then there's people who live in abject poverty and have to eat what they can get, or they're, you know, again, they're not living in this same kind of setup where you can just go to the supermarket and afford to get whatever you want to, or... But... 1559. That's a record, folks. Number one. Yeah, they're so smart. They're so smart. You know, watching those videos of them like solve puzzles and, you know, learn how to get in, solve puzzles, open up jars, things like that. Yeah. Yeah, Ichiko. And of course, dolphins are incredibly smart, you know. We are only beginning to like get the most shallow understanding of what appears to be very complex speech with dolphins and with whales. And, you know, I was seeing something recently about some whales having like phonetic alphabets, essentially. Like they've isolated the recurring syllables basically that they use in whatever their, you know, communication is. And that's all. Isn't that awesome? I mean, that's insane. Like a good old orca, huh? Yeah. They're beautiful creatures. Yeah. Bum bum bum. Oh sure, yeah. I think he was, you know, it was a little bit of a poetic license, a bit of a, you know. They appear like our, you know, movie depictions of aliens do, but yeah. Heck yeah, man. They are, Palpuck. Yeah, they can kill for fun and hunt for fun sometimes too. Kind of like we do. First place. Heck yeah, man. Weeby. I think we can do better. I mean, I know that with the whole charged, unlocked, or unlocked shot, CUS, I kept seeing that abbreviation. That's the way to get 3,000 hits, you know. But that's going to take me rewiring my brain. And that would take... I'd need to be playing this for weeks to practice those stages and find all... There's a lot of points where not even... You don't even have to go for an enemy. It's like objects in the environment that if you hit them with an unlocked charge shot or whatever, it will... You're getting bonus points, sometimes multiple times. You know, +3, +3, +3 on something that you wouldn't even think is you know, an enemy or something that could yield a hit. Yeah. Hey, man, the board was pretty tight. We went from, you know, like second place is 1548, and it's just 5 down to, you know, 2, you know, 6, and we blew that away. 1559. I think I'm gonna, yeah, it'd be cool to shoot for 1600 or something. That's such a huge jump, but there's a couple of things, if I just clean up a couple levels, I think we can do it. Let me look at some of the sorry, no, this isn't the most exciting, but I'm curious. I thought my Area 6 was pretty good, and it was 378. Good for me. All of this is relative for me. For me, you know. But yeah, that might have been my best Area 6. Looks like it. 229 on Venom. We did pick up that little extra 2 hits on the brain, huh? That's funny. Pretty weak Corneria, I think. All right. You know what? My homework between today and tomorrow, I'll see if I can get a scoreboard up for you guys. And I think, you know, I've begun to set up for Ocarina of Time. Let's see if you want to see a little preview. I don't know what... I might have set up a few things that are playing on top of each other, but let me see. I think at some point we're going to play a little Ocarina of Time. And that might be next week. I haven't decided yet, but I'm starting to set up for it. And that'll be fun. I love that game. I don't need an excuse to play it, but it did just come out for the, well, I should say in a few months, I guess. You know, that remake is coming out. But shoot, I'd do it anyway. Watching new music play the original Zelda. He's doing the second quest. That has me wanting to bust out the Famicom as well. Get the disc system going. Don't worry, I won't do show and tell this time. But I got a little carried away with that, but yeah. You know, I don't know, Palpuck. I don't know if I want to do it that way or if I would rather... It doesn't take too many plays, you know. I think the last time we did it, I had it done in maybe like... I think it was fewer than 10 streams. You know, it might have been like 6 or 7. And some of those were kind of short, you know, so... Yeah. I know, I like it too, Ichigo. I didn't realize when I was doing that last week how long you know, the stream itself was kind of long, and then I came out to eat dinner, you know, and it had been a long time since I'd like come out for a break or something. I was like, sorry, babe, you know, got a little carried away. And she's like, I think I had told her like, oh yeah, we're almost done. We've got like 2 levels in Star Fox. And then I restarted them a couple times, and then I did like a 30-minute show and tell. She wasn't upset, but I realized that I had set an expectation that I really just blew past big time, you know. So she didn't know, you know, when to eat, yeah, so on and so forth. You gotta keep your partner in the loop. It's important. Open communication, folks. All right, that was fun. I'm glad you guys were here. We're gonna play at least tomorrow. I'll try to get 3 runs in. It was good to get 2 in today. And then I think probably next week we'll likely move on. It's been fun going back to this game. You know, I've been cramming it in at the end of some streams, so it's been nice to dedicate a few streams to it. Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging. Who's streaming right now? Anybody? We could do a raid. Let's go see if Tater or Leroy were on. Well, we can go hang out with Reebs. He's doing Forza Horizon. That's been cool to check out. We'll do that. We'll go hang out with Reebs. Thank you guys for hanging. I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. Oh, I forgot that with streams, you can like rewind it with on Twitch now. I forgot about that. I accidentally like did something to change the you know, the time on it. All right, we're gonna raid into Reebs. I'll get that set up for us. Cool. All right, guys, let's go here. Yeah, thanks for hanging, Ichigo. This was fun, man. I'm glad I got to catch your stream yesterday too. It's always a good time. All right, guys, thanks for hanging. If you're on YouTube and you haven't done so already, could you please hit the like button? It really helps people find the stream, and thank you for that. Some of the Star Fox streams, they were getting watched after I originally did it, you know, which is cool. It's, you know, people finding it who I don't think are regulars around here. So thanks for helping to boost it. I appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here. Let's hang tomorrow. We'll play Star Fox 64. I'll come back with a different schedule. I'll know what we're going to do next week. Maybe Ocarina. I should, Ichigo. I really should. Yeah, I used to. It wouldn't be hard since I have it made most of the time. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for hanging. Thanks for the suggestion, Ichigo. You're right, man. Like always. Pal Puck, thanks for hanging. Everybody else, Dustin. Let's see, Rotes. We had Hedgehog Fanatic came in, I think. Was that the name? Tater. Dustin. Nick, thanks for hanging, buddy. If I missed your name, sorry about that. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Super fast collage, and then we'll be hanging out over at Reebs' place. See you guys soon. BRB. Not BRB. Damn. I should just hit the end stream button, huh? It's an embarrassment. Just get out of here really quickly. All right. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging.
gamers have classically short attention spans.
I guess I did something to piss off the Instagram gods.
I'll do my best.
Everyone who speedruns is a degenerate, and getting world records is the only way they can feel good about themselves.
Press start to play.
I love the vibes here, dude.